Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection has come out, and yeah, the first day of launch, we all know how it went. It didn't go well. It was not ready. It was not prepared. The company was not prepared for how many people were going to be playing it. The servers were not ready. The game was broken. It wasn't showing people's own servers that they were creating. A lot of messy stuff was happening, but I am happy to say that I have noticed that there really is no issue with that stuff now, at least on my end that I've noticed. I'm able to play online now easily on both games, and I enjoy playing online on both games quite a bit. And I feel like that's going to be the major, selling point of this game is the online play, because you can already play these games on the Xbox Series X or on Steam just by getting the old versions of the game. So really the only upgrade you're getting, I guess, other than better 4K updates, would be the fact that it has online mode. So this is basically $30 for the online mode, I feel like, of Battlefront, especially if you already own the other ones. And is it worth $30 for the multiplayer? I think it depends on who you are and what you're looking for. I personally love Star Wars Battlefront, so to me, $30 is justifiable. I think $30 is fine for it because I will put that time in it. And not only that, but I will play these newer versions over the older versions just because they did do things like add achievements, and I like collecting achievements. So in Battlefront 2, you can collect a ton of achievements for leveling up and going through the ranks and just leveling up your character, and for getting different types of in-match awards and stuff like that. Like if you go on a frenzy or something like that, or you get a marksman award and stuff like that, it can give you achievements for those type of awards. And I like achievements enough to where I'm just like, okay, well, this is cool. Like this alone, just getting achievements in this old video game that I used to play, that's pretty cool. So I do like that quite a bit, I'm going to be honest. But the actual gameplay itself plays really well also. I do like the way it plays. And I love in Battlefront 1 the fact that I can swap from third person to first person with just a click of a button. That is such a nice update. I love that so much. And I love Battlefront 1 more than Battlefront 2, actually. I love Battlefront 1. So that was a super great upgrade for me. That was an awesome thing to see. So I really liked that. The actual game modes themselves, they play just like how they should. They play really well. I will say that the only thing I think feels different is the sensitivity feels a little bit slippery in this, and I don't feel like they felt that slippery in the original versions of it. So I will say that. But overall, they play pretty well. And I haven't really noticed any problem with the actual gameplay itself. There are bugs still. There's some sound bugs that will happen every now and then where the game will just lose audio, and the only way to fix it is to go back to the main menu of the game select, where you have to select either Battlefront 1 or Battlefront 2, and that will usually fix the sound issue. So that is a little bit of an annoyance, and I figured I should bring that up. And that's really the only big issue I've ran into. I've noticed some of the sound effects are different. Like the loading screen for Battlefront 1, it doesn't sound the same as it used to for the original Star Wars Battlefront. So I don't know why they changed that, but I just noticed that was different. I was just like, that's kind of an odd thing to change. It's just a simple, it's not nothing big, but it's just like the beeps on the loading screen are usually, they change in pitch, but instead on this one they're all the same pitch, and it's just kind of odd that they changed that of all things. It's just like, why? why would you change that? Some of the other actual new things that they did do, which are pretty cool, is they added Hero Assault on every single map in Battlefront 2, which is really cool, because now you can do Hero Assault on the Death Star, you can do Hero Assault on Coruscant, or on Polis Massa, on Mustafar. That stuff's pretty cool. I have to admit that is really, really cool. And if you're wondering about the cheat codes, you can actually still use the cheat codes offline as well. They do not work online, thank goodness, but you can use them offline still. The cheat codes for Battlefront 2, at least. I haven't tried the cheat codes for Battlefront 1. There are some cheat codes for Battlefront 1, but I haven't tried them out just yet. But they're nothing, I don't think, crazy. I think it's basically just make your character shorter and stuff like that. I think that's really what the cheat codes in Battlefront 1 were. But the invincibility cheat code and the infinite ammo cheat code in Battlefront 2 work 100% fine. The only thing I will say is that for some reason in Battlefront 2, whenever you put in that cheat code, you do have to put it in every new match that you start. So, you start a map, you use the cheat codes, and that match ends, the cheat codes end. So when you start a new match, you have to put in the cheat codes again. And I thought that was kind of odd because, the old Battlefront also wasn't like that. So I don't know why it's like that here, but it is. So I figured I should probably throw it out there. But overall, there's obviously some slight annoyances, but there's also, I think, some improvements here. I think that they kind of balance each other out. And overall, I think that if you're looking just for... first of all, if you don't own the Battlefront games, this is a perfect way to pick them up and play them. And if you are looking to kind of upgrade and just so you have the online option, I think it's worth it just for that alone, honestly. I enjoy the online gameplay of this. Battle mode online is so chaotic. Whenever you're doing the Hero Assault mode online, it is so chaotic. I love it. I love playing Hunt as well on Battlefront 2 because you also have like the... you can do the Gungans versus the droids and stuff like that. You can do the Ewoks versus the Scout Troopers and stuff. I love those type of like silly fights like that, so I'm always up for that. I will say, too, people kept saying that they added new characters and they added new maps. That's not technically true. I kept seeing people say that, and that's not true. Yes, these maps were not on the PS2 version. However, if you already owned these games on the original Xbox, if you owned, if you own them and you play them through backwards compatibility, those characters, the Jedis and the Sith that were supposedly added, they're actually in the old versions if you play them through backwards compatibility. Same with the Jabba the Hutt map on Battlefront 1. It actually is also there. So there's no new maps added that I have seen, personally. They've been maps that have already been playable in previous versions of Battlefront if you played it through backwards compatibility on the Xbox One or Xbox Series. So I want to throw that out there because I kept seeing people say, "Oh, there's new maps." No, there technically is not. If you only play this on PS2 and you're playing this on Xbox for the first time, you will see new maps because the PS2 didn't have those ones. But those maps have been playable in the past. They're not brand new. They were pre-existing. So I wanted to throw that out there as well. They're good. I like the Jabba the Hutt map on the first game, and I like the characters that are on the Xbox version of the game because it has a Sage Ventress and also has Kit Fisto, and it has Kit Fisto from like the original Clone Wars cartoon where he's like swimming shirtless in the water and his lightsaber's like getting all fuzzy and stuff like that. They actually brought that version of Kit Fisto into the game, which is pretty cool in my opinion. And obviously, if Sage Ventress was around the same time, they were both in the same cartoon back in the day, so they put both of them in the game. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, they were already in one version of the game. So if you see people saying, "Oh, there's new content," that's not quite true. There is some new content, but there's no new maps that I've noticed, and there's no new characters that I've noticed either. So just throwing that out there. But overall, I like this game. Messy launch. Put it aside. Yes, the launch was messy. Video games should come out finished every single time. There's no reason for video games to not come out finished, but it's just how it is these days, unfortunately. I can complain about it as much as I want, but it's not going to change the fact that they're just going to keep doing it because at the end of the day, name a company that doesn't do it. Even Larian did it with Baldur's Gate. That game is horribly unfinished, but guess what? It won Game of the Year. So, I don't think it deserved it, but that's a different conversation. But either way, yeah, it's a whole thing. It should have been completed. All video games should be completed before they're launched, and it's annoying that it didn't get completed before it came out. But it's out now, it's playable, it's enjoyable now, and hopefully we'll eventually get a physical version of this as well for the Nintendo Switch at least, because I'd like to have this physical on the Switch. But, overall, I don't think $30 is a bad price for it now that it is fixed. Obviously, before it was fixed, I would have said no, avoid it, but now that it's fixed, I think it's worth it. I 100% think it's worth it. So definitely check out Star Wars Battlefront Collection. It's fun, as long as you aren't having any issues with it, which I'm not right now. So I'm playing it just fine. Hopefully everyone else is playing it just fine as well. I can only go by my experience, and my experience so far has been pretty good ever since I played it. Like a few days after the launch. So there we go. I'll talk to you next time. You have a wonderful day, and I hope that you do enjoy this game and you have no issues with it as well. I'll talk to you next video. Bye-bye.